Hello, my mums. So my level of enthusiasm to work out today is like a -2, but I'm here. I'm here because you are here. And I just scrapped today's programming, rewrote something else, and we are going to be doing an EMOM, which is every minute on the minute. So minute number 1, we're going to complete 4 burpees. Don't turn your cameras off. Minute number 2, we're going to go for 6 squats. Super easy, super fun. Minute number 3, we're going to go for 8 plank jacks. And then minute number 4, we're going to do 10 feet elevated glute bridges. But if you don't have anything to elevate your feet on, just do regular glute bridges. Really simple workout, really basic movements, just moving the body, and I'm sure we're going to have a sweat. The biggest challenge today is to keep me on track with the timer because it's on my watch. All right. So you do your reps and then you have the remainder of the minute to rest. So if you take a long time, you'll have less time to rest. If you do it very fast, you'll have more time to rest. Off we go. So we're going to start off with the hardest one, which is the burpees. So burpees, my hands are at the top of my mat. You're either going to step or jump back. You're going to lower everything to the floor. You're either going to step or jump forwards. Little hop at the top. Okay, we're only doing 4, and it's not a push-up. I just want everything to touch the floor and to touch back up. Little hop at the top, and then that's me with my 4 reps done. So at this point, I have 30 seconds to rest. The reason why I'm so tired, the next thing we're going to do is 6 squats, which isn't much. The reason I'm so tired is because I am in my luteal phase of my menstrual cycle. And since having my 3rd baby, my menstrual cycles have gotten really long, like 35 days. And they've never been like this before my whole life. 4 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Going for our 6 squats. Hips go down, knees out. Yeah, my whole life. I've been like 28 days after my 2 boys. My period came back. Good. I've just got 2 more reps, I think. Nice. That's 40 seconds of rest. My periods came back at the 6-week mark. And then I had a regular period ever since then. I know that's really uncommon for most people, especially when they're breastfeeding like I did. And yeah, so this is life. Next one is plank jack. We still have 20 seconds to rest, but I'm just going to demonstrate your 2 options. So you're either going to be in the forearm plank, stepping a foot out and back in, or you're jumping out, back in. You do you. Sometimes if you have pubic pain or if you feel a little heaviness in the pelvic floor, maybe just the stepping out and you being able to control your movement is best. Ready? 8. Off we go. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Good. So things you want to focus on are keeping the hips in line with the shoulders rather than the hips jumping up. You also want to think about nice controlled movement, nice core switched on, especially if you're doing the step outs and in. If being in a regular plank, it doesn't feel nice, you can also do it from an elevated surface. All right, last one we're going to do is our heels elevated glute bridges. Woo! And we're doing 10 of those. And we got 20 seconds, so I'm just going to prepare. So your glute bridges, remember we're trying to keep our rib cage down. Whee! What's nice about an EMOM is you just give yourself a number. 3, 2, 1, and then off we go. We're just going for 10. What's nice about the EMOM is you give yourself a number to focus on. You just have to do that much. And you can make it as hard and challenging as you want or as easy as you want. So like today, my goal is just to move the body. So really simple movements that you could make harder. So instead of that 6 squats, it could be a 6 squat jumps. I've done 10 reps. You know, you could try and get 10 burpees in a minute. And then if you don't make it, to that minute, you're straight into the next exercise. So EMOMs are really nice. We're going to go back to the beginning. We're going to do our 4 burpees. I stepped the first round. I'm going to see if I can jump back and jump forwards. 10 seconds. So burpees, we start at the top of the mat because your feet are going to go back. Don't try and do your burpee from the back of the mat and try and face plant forwards. Off we go. Hands down. So when I first started doing CrossFit, that's how I got into fitness at university. I had broken up with someone, gained a lot of weight, got into CrossFit, lost a lot of weight, got really muscular. It was great. But because I was so little and everyone else was much bigger, had much more muscle, rest or, continue on with your burpees. I did 4. The thing I was good at was all the body weight stuff. So I got better at all the gymnastics, got my first push-up really, I got my first pull-up really fast in the grand scheme of things, like comparatively to lifting heavier weights. And then once I got stronger with the weights, my gymnastics got better. So, I can't remember the point. Oh, I used to love burpees. So I don't mind them when they come up in a workout. I don't find them awful or painful. A lot of people do. But they're a metaphor for life, right? When you fall down, you got to get back up. All right, off we go. 6 squats. So if you want to make them a little bit more challenging, you can do a little squat jump. Or what we can really focus on here is some nice form, getting as low and as deep in the squat as you possibly can. I think I've got one more rep. 6 squats. Boom. Yeah, so if you ever want to, program or work out yourself, you can always just write yourself a little EMOM. Really easy. 30 more seconds. We're going to do this 4 times through, so it's a 16-minute workout that you did, and you managed to get a little bit of rest. And I don't always program rest within the workouts that I give you because I'm trying to get as most bang for your buck, or I'm coaching a lot and talking. So here, you get programmed rest. We've got 10 more seconds, and we're going in for our plank jacks. Whew. Alrighty. 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice plank position. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ooh. Woo. Okay, we've got 50 seconds left, and then we're going into our feet elevated glute bridges. Yeah. And that's the thing as well about body weight workouts, is you can always make them harder by going slower, basically, and using more of your strength. All right, 25 seconds. To make your glute bridge harder, you can also do it slower. You can do it with one leg if you want to be really, cool, because you can probably get 20 reps in. I'm not going to do that today. That's not my energy today. Feel free to do that. Do 10 on one side, 10 on the other side. Your energy today is probably great. But yeah, I am luteal phase. Off we go. There are 4 phases of your menstrual cycle: follicular, ovulation, luteal or luteal, depending on where you're from, and then menstruation. So follicular is where your follicles are getting bigger and bigger and bigger. They mature. I'm sure I've done 10 by now. Let's just do one more for safety. They mature. And that is what then, gets fertilized. Not one follicle, many follicles, but hopefully gets fertilized by sperm. And then your body starts to release more progesterone, estrogen, preparing for birth, thickening the lining. That's why you can sometimes feel, like you do in a first trimester, for example. So you might feel more bloated, more lethargic, more wanting of certain foods. And then, yeah, when you're ovulating, if it hasn't been fertilized, let's go into our burpees. Sorry, just chatting away. Down and back up. Just 4 reps. Whew. But we're already into round 3. Yeah, so that's why in the luteal phase, we can sometimes be a bit more lethargic. But, cycle syncing is very individual and personal. Rest. I actually love training when I'm on my period. I like the endorphin release that it brings. 20 more seconds versus And then I feel great sort of like the beginning, like just after my period, follicular ovulation, like you would imagine. And then the luteal phase, those sort of now, which is like almost 3 weeks of my life because my periods are longer. Whew. All right, squats. 3, 2, 1. Yeah, now it's much longer period of my life. It's much longer period of not wanting to work out. So grateful that I'm moving my body today. Grateful that my body can move. When I threw my back out at the start of this challenge, I was like, I'm never going to be able to walk again, you know? And then here we are. Rest. Or finish your 6 squats. Then we're going to go into our plank jacks. We've got 30 seconds. Whew. You know, if kids are involved, feel free to pop them on your hips, your back, whatever works. Get them doing the burpees too. Yeah. Oh, the joys of being a woman, having a completely, entirely different hormonal pattern that really does affect everything in your life. And for some people, absolutely does not matter to them. 10 seconds till plank jacks, they feel pretty good throughout. Ready, off we go. And that, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 is probably more of a sign of hormonal balance than anything else. And so that's why it can also be like on luteal phase when you want to pick up those less admirable foods, not admirable, but I mean, I just know I've had a lot more burgers in the last week than I normally would. Or even if you eat exactly the same, but you might be one of those weeks where your weight just goes up, even though you may have actually had fat loss, you know? And that's why I don't think women should weigh themselves from week to week. I think it should kind of be like a monthly thing, or, you know, when you feel good and you're like, ooh, but yeah, weight's not so important to me. Alrighty, feet elevated, glute bridges, 10 of them. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good stuff. All right, we got one more round. We're going to start off with your burpees. Final 4 minutes, 30 seconds till we go. Yeah. But as we approach month 2, day 60, I'm like so proud of you, proud of myself. I hope that, you know, you've seen benefits, whether it's just like the motivation to work out again, or even if you haven't seen many bodily changes yet. You know, it really takes a few months and a lot of loading, I feel like. 3, 2, 1, off we go for our burpees. I feel like to see some real change, like in terms of muscle growth, you really need to focus on loading with weights, and I'm happy to put together a little home weight body program. One more. Or resistance bands, you can still get a lot of rest. You know, we still managed to give our clients a lot of change in their bodies during the pandemic when we just had resistance bands. 20 more seconds. So, what was my point? All the things. 15 seconds. Whew. 2 more exercises? No, 3 more exercises, and then we're done. Alrighty, squats. 3, 2, 1, off we go. Squat. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, 6. Not gonna make myself do more. 40 more seconds. Yeah. And, you know, the gift and joy of motherhood, whether it's your first child or your second, I found that easy, like the the physical recovery from my first was obviously the easiest, but the mental recovery, I don't think ever came. I've always, like, since then been way more anxious and been trying to find um, more avenues to just like chill out and not care so much. It's hard not to care about your kids, right? It's the whole point. All right, we're gonna go for plank jacks. 3, 2, 1. Off we go. Ooh. 8, 7, 6. That's so. 4, 3, 2, 1. I think I did one less. I'm gonna do one more. And then we're gonna do our final exercise, but we're still gonna take the rest. We're gonna go all the way to it. Give yourself that 40 seconds rest. Listen to my next TED Talk. Yeah. But that's why, I mean, I think for me personally, I've always struggled with self-esteem issues, even though I'm very extroverted and very self-confident. And so that's why I always say, like, say nice things to yourself. Because what do they say? When we speak to our children, our outer voice will become their inner voice. And someone said that to me once, and I was like, ain't that the truth? 3, 2, 1, off we go. So when I reflect back on my childhood or the messaging that was said to me, like, and it's not just like young kids, I think it's really the teenagers, you know, how much self-esteem in the in the darkest period. I can't believe we have to relive our teen years through our children, but this time there's social media. Anyways, I've got 2 more reps. Last one. Good. 30 seconds for the rest of you who may be working. Thank you for showing up today, for listening to me talk for 15 minutes. It was great. I feel very relieved, and I'm glad that I moved my body. So, well done, Mama. I'm going to see you again tomorrow.